The Jackson Public School District was given an F rating by the Mississippi Department of Education, but there is one elementary school that turned its struggle into a success. Nissan's annual donation of $250,000 to Mississippi's HBCUs will be held this morning at 11. In Ocean Springs, a woman who took care of a quadriplegic adult has been arrested for stealing that person's money. Now know the name of the victim in a deadly mobile home fire. Yazoo County Coroner Ricky Shivers says that the person found in the home has been identified. It is nearly time for the grand opening of the Brandon Amphitheater, the first major concert happening there tonight. Good morning to you at home as well as you wake up this morning wondering how you can put some energy, high energy and fun in your day. Well, this is it. Cheryl, it's going really good. The streets are starting to fill up with walkers and runners who are going to be coming on down. Matter of fact, I want to show you exactly where the race will begin this morning. Now, of course, we're right in front of Thalhiomara Hall, but over here, West Street in Pascagoula is where walkers and runners will line up. Just a little bit of that jacket in the morning and then shedding it by the afternoon.
Yes, so we are talking about a fairly nice day ahead for us.
Even though I sit next to a Rev, you got to say, go Lady Bulldogs Wilson.
Go Lady Bulldogs Wilson.
6:27 if you're heading out the door. Here's the two women recently arrested in that major drug bust that netted more than $10 million worth of heroin will appear inside this courthouse this morning. They'll stand before a judge to answer why they had so many drugs and a 3-month-old baby inside their vehicle. 23-year-olds Arlene Moya and Trisha Lynn Ibarra, both from Texas, were arrested after a traffic stop on I-20 in Rankin County Monday night. Deputies searched their SUV and found 51 pounds of white heroin in the gas tank. Sheriff Brian Bailey says the drugs have an estimated street value between $10 and $20 million, possibly making this the largest bust ever in Mississippi. A 3-month-old baby was also in the vehicle and is now in the custody of Child Protection Services. If convicted, the women could face life in prison. And again, both of those women are expected in court today at around 1:30, and we will keep you updated. That's right, and because of the city's ongoing water crisis, several Jackson Public School students are returning to class this morning with either low water pressure or no water at all. Forest Hill High School is the only JPS school opening today that has no water. And as we mentioned, 4 other schools have low water pressure. Students and teachers have been out of school for nearly a month due to Jackson's water crisis. More than 100 water main breaks across the city forced JPS to extend the holiday break because most of the schools lost water pressure. School leaders say there will be water available at the schools still experiencing problems. Water stations will be set up and students will be served sacked lunches in the cafeteria. Students have missed 8 school days, and now JPS has to come up with a plan on how they will make up 5 of those days. They're hoping to have that plan figured out sometime in February. Reporting on the city's west side, I'm Joy Redmond, WLBT 3 on your. We'll have you to know, Mr. Wilson Stribling, you are wrong. I am very much cycling right now. This is happening on live TV. The good news is I haven't broken a sweat just yet, but I will, and so will you. Good morning to you, and here's a look at some of the top stories we're tracking. Right now, a statewide search is underway after police say a man wanted for a double homicide in Tennessee is believed to be in East Mississippi. What we know straight ahead. Plus 4 tornadoes have been confirmed after strong storms swept through the state Friday night. And later, the city of Jackson wants to keep you in the know with regular press briefings. Those stories and more straight ahead. Several law enforcement agencies in Mississippi are on the hunt for a Tennessee man suspected of killing his mother and friend. He was last seen Sunday afternoon in Jasper County. The Raycom News Network's Quamitra Wilborn has the latest developments. And 60 customers are waking up under a boil water notice in 2 separate advisories. The first one impacts residents on Chandler Drive and Dale Court. The second impacts the 1100 through 1300 blocks of Quinn Street. And due to a recent loss in water pressure in both areas, you are asked to boil your water 1 minute before drinking it. Now this follow-up. 4 tornadoes touched down during Friday night storms. The National Weather Service says one touched down in Rankin County and was on the ground for at least 5 minutes. A few trees were uprooted and power lines were downed along Haynes Chapel Road. An EF1 and EF0 storm touched down in southeast Claiborne County, and another EF1 struck near the Claiborne County line. There are no reports of any injuries or structural damage. Take a look at this. Parts of the metro saw damage from the Friday night storms. Our cameras were rolling on Northside Drive near the State Street intersection where a massive tree blocked the road there. The large leaning tree and its branches blocked a portion of the road where drivers had to take a detour.
Again, traffic alert now. Be prepared for slowdowns around Veterans Memorial Stadium and even on I-55.
Some proud Tigers ready to roar. Jackson State University holding its graduation ceremonies this weekend. Right now, and probably for a long time to come, people are celebrating the birth of the newest British royal. Yes, the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton, gave birth to a baby boy to tackle the growing opioid epidemic. It'll include seeking the death penalty for high-volume drug dealers. Jackson police also spent the night looking for 2 clues after 2 shootings happened just hours apart from each other. More devastating news from the scene of that big shopping mall fire in Siberia. Russian media reporting that an entire primary school class was killed in the blaze. They were watching a cartoon in the movie theater on the 4th floor. Cheryl. And here's a look at some top stories we're tracking this morning at 5. First, an overnight wreck involving multiple vehicles on Interstate 220 leaves 1 person dead and nearly 1,800 people waking up to a boil water alert. We'll tell you which counties are impacted.
It's pretty out there, but it's in the 60s.
That's right. And freezing. Joy is just going to have to bundle up.
In here.
See, you started this. When it was 60 the last time, Wilson said that you made fun of him too, right? That's right. And because of the city's ongoing water crisis, several Jackson Public School students are returning to class this morning with either low water pressure or no water at all. Forest Hill High School is the only JPS school opening today that has no water. And as we mentioned, 4 other schools have low water pressure. Students and teachers have been out of school for nearly a month due to Jackson's water crisis. More than 100 water main breaks across the city forced JPS to extend the holiday break because most of the schools lost water pressure. School leaders say there will be water available at the schools still experiencing problems. Water stations will be set up and students will be served sacked lunches in the cafeteria. Students have missed 8 school days, and now JPS has to come up with a plan on how they will make up 5 of those days. They're hoping to have that plan figured out sometime in February. Reporting on the city's west side, I'm Joy Redmond, WLBT 3 on your side. Almost all of us are guilty of it. Heads down, chin almost touching our chest, eyes glued to our mobile devices as we surf the net. Well, here's a heads up from doctors. This bad posture could bring you some pain down the road. It's a condition called chronic cervical strain, also known as text neck.
Text neck is essentially an overuse injury, is what it is. And we've always, as a population, we've always read, and we've always looked down to read, right? Well, basically with these smartphones and everything is driven visually, we now do a lot more looking down. Dr.
Graham Calvert is a neck and back specialist at Mississippi Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Center. He says while older adults can suffer from it too, he's seen more recent cases of text neck in millennials.
We're totally seeing it more in young people. I mean, I see a lot of young people coming here who complain of neck pain, and it's usually very muscular-driven neck pain. It's not so much nerve pain. It's very what we call axial. When I say axial pain, it's related to the axial skeleton. So the pain is usually from the bottom of the ears and down to the shoulders and the end of the upper back.
Dr. Calvert explained how and why that pain comes about and the long-term injury it can cause.
One of the things that when we talk about text neck, or syndromes where you're putting more strain on the muscles, whenever you lean your neck forward, it gets it out of that normal lordosis, and now your neck's become straight, or what we call kyphotic, which is now it's curving forward. And that puts more strain on these muscles here. And you can see these muscles come up and they attach behind your skull, behind your ear. They come down, and these muscles are very integrated with the back muscles as well, and they come down through your shoulder.
Worse yet, young people could end up suffering from a condition more commonly associated with the elderly.
Anecdotally, we're noting as clinicians that we do see arthritis earlier and in people that shouldn't have arthritis until decades later.
And the likelihood of cell phones being the culprit causing pain isn't a stretch because we do it all on our mobile devices. We tweet, we text, we Snapchat, Instagram, but experts are advising don't do it down here. We need to take our mobile devices to new heights, so to speak, in order to avoid getting text neck. That goes for all necks, young and old, but it's a bit of a harder sell to most young people, especially to Clinton high schoolers Gracie Phillips and Chris Carter. Millennial rule number 1, must look cool when holding phone at all times.
No, I never just text like this.
I'm never up here with it.
I have a tendency to look down at it instead of bringing it up to my face.
Carter tries to be mindful of good neck posture, but Phillips admits she likes to keep a low profile because to her, text neck was just a made-up word anyway.
What did you think it was?
Some weird term they're using for some type of texting that they're mad about now.
Weird? Maybe so in the eyes of millennials who undoubtedly will keep their heads buried in their phones. But text neck is definitely not just make-believe. If your youngster is complaining of symptoms that sound like text neck, Dr. Calvert recommends a couple of stretches that should help ease the pain.
One of the exercises we recommend is called neck isometric exercises, and that's strengthening your neck without moving your neck. So if I push on the side of my head like this, I'm feeling the resistance. I can feel these muscles firing, but I'm not moving my neck at all. I'm just placing a load across my neck. That's an isometric exercise, probably one of the easiest ones you can do. Other thing is stretching your neck, leaning down and kind of pulling on your neck. You're not resisting, you're just letting your neck go with the pull, and you're doing these pulls. Another thing is called chin tucks. The therapist will tell you to tuck your chin in like this, and it puts a stretch across the back of the neck. So stretching, isometric exercise is probably the 2 best things you can do.
A doctor's note handed down to help keep millennials' heads up. Joy Redmond, Fox 40 News. A person died at a fair in Alabama while inspecting a ride. According to the county coroner, a 45-year-old man fell while conducting a safety check of the Ring of Fire ride. Now a local dentist's office is helping people brighten their smile today, free of charge, and you can take advantage of this free dental care. Classes are canceled because of the excessive heat in Ohio. And listen to this. One parent says her son's not going back to school until they fix the AC. Good Friday morning to you. We're following some breaking stories around central Mississippi while you were sleeping. Flames engulfed 2 Vicksburg homes, killing 2 children. The emotional video straight ahead in the alert center, plus a live report at 6:50. Also, the doctor who admitted to paying bribes to former MDOC Commissioner Chris Epps will be sentenced today. And later, 3 teenagers waking up behind bars for a package theft in Madison. Those stories and more coming up. But first, let's check in with Patrick with our Friday forecast. Incredible story now of selflessness. A police officer who encountered a heroin-addicted woman affected him so much he was compelled to help in an extraordinary way. 53 degrees at 5:18 in the capital city. Madison police are searching for a man who took off running after a traffic stop. It is foggy and wet outside as you head out the door this morning. Heather will have more on your first alert forecast when we come right back. County schools, many of you have been asking. Yes, we can confirm they are closed. No school today for Rankin County schools. Now, we did spot some snow on the roads in Rankin County. Let's go to Chief Meteorologist Dave Roberts. He joins us with a look at what's going on. The river continues to rise and will reach 7 feet above flood stage over the next 2 days. And the collapse of a brand new pedestrian bridge near Florida International University in Miami. That bridge hadn't opened to foot traffic yet when it crumbled and fell onto roadway traffic. This morning in Consumer News, it's easy to reduce or possibly eliminate annual or late fees on credit cards. All you have to do is ask. Somebody's birthday today, and for once I'll let the shine off of me and give it to this guy. He turned the tender age of just so much younger than the 2 of us. 28. Oh. Happy birthday, Patrick.
Thank you, guys.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patrick. Happy birthday to you.